Hey, how's it going? Man, I take a little bit of time off, I come back, you're looking as good as ever. Loving the mustache, not sure about the frosted tips though. Today, we're gonna be talking about Kamen Rider Black Episode 5, which, it turns out, is the very first episode not written by Shozo Uehara. Instead, we've got Junichi Miyashita taking up writing duties this time, and he will eventually write 11 episodes in total of Kamen Rider Black. And then, after that, he ends up writing 13 episodes of Kamen Rider Black RX, the sequel series, including one episode entitled Papa is Dracula. No, I'm not making that up. All of this together makes him a little bit of a heavy hitter in my book. Does he have what it takes to write a great episode of Kamen Rider Black? I guess you'll just have to watch to the end of the video to find out. Spoiler warning, yeah, he's really good. This is a great episode. So strap in, hold on to your butts. Yes, yeah, those were the words I was looking, that was the sentiment I was going for. Thank you, Sammy Jackson. Man, that guy really is in everything. Even my videos, that's wild. Now let's get to it. Hey champ, have you ever had a bad day? The kind where nothing seems to go your way. The kind where mind-controlled villagers chase you through a dark forest holding torches, led by the satanic chanting of a Tai Chi practicing goat monster? Well, then you might be able to relate to the plight of Akane Shimazaki. Also, I'm sorry that happened to you. After being horribly emotionally scarred by the experience, Akane exits the forest and is picked up by a passing truck driver. And in the next scene, which I like to call Necessary Exposition Central, we find that Akane is actually best friends with Kyoko, because of course she is. Nothing in this show seems to happen involving a monster without it having a direct line to Kotaro, even though Gorgom has no idea about that connection. I think pretty much the first rule they teach you in Japanese script writing school must be rely on coincidence wherever possible, because this is not the last time that will happen. We soon come to find that Akane was visiting her brother in Asahi Village, which is a name that Kotaro recognizes because it's been all over the news recently as the upcoming site of an international peace conference. Unfortunately, Akane cannot tell them anything about what happened in the village because every time she tries to remember, the trauma is too much for her and she freaks out. As the doctor is explaining Akane's condition, the nurse enters the room and says that Akane is missing. And I'm like, what? What are you talking about? She's right there in the room with them. Turns out this was just a misconception on my part because of some wonky editing. We went from this shot of Akane laying in bed to this shot of the doctor looking down, as if he was looking at Akane. But no, I guess they had moved to a different room by this point. It's not super important to mention, but I was thrown for a loop for a moment. This is why good editing is kind of important. Anyway, as the nurse was saying, Akane is missing. Kyoko and Kotaro go looking for her across the hospital grounds, unaware that she's made her way up to the rooftop, drawn in by the faraway chanting of Ghost Monster. Drawn in by the faraway chanting of Goat Monster. And as Akane attempts to take a Wile E. Coyote walk off the rooftop, Kotaro leaps into action and saves her. And my biggest takeaway from this scene is just, damn, Kyoko, why are you wearing such dorky ass pants? Those might actually be the dorkiest pants that I've ever seen. You know what, I'll just say it right now, Kyoko, my new favorite character in the entire show. Partly because of the dorky ass pants, partly because of the Ding Dong Band thing. If you know, you know. It might be flimsy reasons for somebody to be my favorite character, but you know what? Whatever. Dorky Pants. for all the wins. Expecting that he'll find answers to all of these strange goings-on, Kotaro heads out to Asahi Village, and immediately upon arriving stumbles across a bunch of kids picking on a littler kid and about to shove some vegetables in his mouth, which is, man, that's just the worst thing you can do to a kid. Kotaro steps in and whoa, look at how tough these kids look. Man, I wouldn't want to tangle with them. And even worse, after they get their sneering looks and power poses in, pretty much the entire village shows up and restrains Kotaro, while one of them drills the little boy. That didn't sound right. While one of them questions the little boy as to the whereabouts of the village chief. But before they can do anything else, a bell is rung, and the villagers all say that they need to go pray to Lord Goat. And naturally, Kotaro's all like,
"Where's everyone going? Bingo? Un forastero!"
Does it strike anybody else as kind of strange that the villagers were able to restrain Kotaro? I mean, they're just regular ass people, and he's a Japanese cyborg grasshopper man with enhanced strength. I mean, is it just me? Does this bother anybody else? Am I thinking too hard about this? Does this qualify for plot holes that don't freaking matter? I don't know, probably. After Kotaro takes note that the gentleman doing the questioning was actually Akane's older brother, the little boy, whose name is Mamoru, leads Kotaro out of the village to a small cave where his grandfather, the village chief, has been holed up. There, the kindly old man relates a story we've all heard 1,000 times. You go out on a fishing trip, you get back to the village, everybody's under the hypnotic spell of a goat monster. So the village chief, Mamoru, and Akane all escape the village. And then the old man sends Akane out to find help, which in hindsight, she did not do. Look, Akane, I'm sure you have your positive qualities. Thus far, I haven't seen any of them. You just scream a lot, you can't remember anything. The lives of an entire village of people were depending on you, and you couldn't even get the word out. I just have to say, I don't know why Kyoko is best friends with you. She's the greatest, she has the dorkiest pants, she's in a ding-dong band. I do not know what you bring to the table. I just wanted to voice this concern because you are a potential bad influence on her, and I want to see her succeed. I want to see her do well. I feel like you might just bring her down. Now, with that out of the way, Kotaro exits the cave to go investigate the village further, and with the help of Mamoru, ends up finding the site of the open-air Goat Monster megachurch, where Goat Monster is in the middle of a sermon, apparently, which involves stroking his horns and letting out a dense purple mist. Totally stealing one from the Joel Osteen playbook, I see. And it's here we get the lowdown on what Gorgom's really up to. And dude, you're never gonna guess, they actually came up with a logical plan this time. They got that peace conference coming up in Asahi Village pretty soon. Gorgom figures, hey, we'll take over the populace, we'll have them attack the conference, destabilize relations between countries. What's the best way of wiping out humanity? Get humanity to wipe out itself. You guys, you're thinking logically now. I'm so proud of you.
Hey, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you.
I probably shouldn't be so excited or happy about any of this because you're talking about wiping out the human race, but it's like you took my criticism into account and you're using that for self-improvement. I couldn't be prouder, except like if you were working toward the betterment of humanity, but you know, that's besides the point. Good job, guys. Good job, Gorgom, advancing as characters and as people. Or monsters, or whatever the hell you are. Other side of the commercial bump, Goat Monster's chanting reaches the ears of Kotaro and Mamoru. But while Kotaro seems to be somewhat resilient to its effects, Mamoru's eyes go crazy and he attacks Kotaro. Long story short, dude punches a kid. And I probably shouldn't find that funny, but yeah, I kind of do. Halfway back down the mountain, Kotaro runs into the village chief, who immediately sees the knocked out Mamoru and assumes that the bad guys did it. And Kotaro just stands there in silence. I guess it makes sense. He can't really say, yeah, I knocked out your 10-year-old grandson. This is hero work, folks. As the village chief is lamenting their situation, he makes mention of the peace conference coming up in 10 days, and it finally dawns on Kotaro what Gorgom's plan is. The next day, Kotaro insists that the village chief leave the situation in his hands, but the old man refuses to leave and wants to help in the fight, and Kotaro is inspired by his determination and bravery. And in this scene, we get kind of a cool little detail that was alluded to in the previous flashback. Why exactly hasn't the village chief fallen under the spell of Goat Monster? Dude wears a hearing aid. If he doesn't want to hear the chant, all he has to do is take it out. It's clever, I like it. Soon enough, it's nighttime again, and Kotaro and the old man sit in silence waiting for the attack that they know is coming. And I know I've said it before, but a show like this only has about 20 minutes to tell its story. So it's always impressive to me when they find just the right moment to slow things down, either to increase the drama or the tension building up. In this case, the music cuts out, and we only have the ambient sounds of the crackling fire and the chants from the people outside getting closer and closer, just before torches get pushed through the paper doors and everything erupts into action. It's actually a very effective piece of horror filmmaking. And I always end up saying it again, but yeah, this is a kid's show. They just don't make them like they used to. Of course, there's no reason that Kotaro really should feel threatened by any of these people, but I don't really think that's the case anyway. Obviously, he's concerned for the safety of the village chief and Mamoru, but at the same time, I think he just doesn't want to hurt any of these people. He throws some of them around, he tosses out a couple of punches, but soon enough, it's time to pop off a Henshin, baby. And usually when I pick my favorite shots from any of these episodes, I generally try to avoid picking the really obvious superhero pose type shots, because those are centerpiece shots, man. Like they're the obvious ones to pick. I don't want to pick the obvious thing, I want to pick something super interesting. But in this case, I'll make an exception, because this one is just, it's just a cut above. You got the flickering orange light from the torches in the house with the bluish moonlight coming in through the door. Kamen Rider Black's high-tech look against a very traditional Japanese house interior. It's just such an atmospheric shot. I love this one. It was kind of a tough call between this one and the shot of all the kids posing, trying to look tough, mostly because this kid in particular is trying his hardest, but he really just looks confused. And that is hilarious to me, but I wanted to pick something serious this time. From here, we get the obligatory tokusatsu jump, all the way from in the house over to Goat Monster's church, which, lo and behold, is basically a rock quarry. Oh, and I just have to make a correction to something I said in the last video when Kotaro henshined and there was all this steam coming out of his joints, and I said, obviously, it's the toxin being burnt out through his joints from the bad guy in that one. Apparently, I was wrong about that because it happens again here, and I looked forward and it also happens in the next episode. It didn't happen in the first 3 episodes, so I was thrown off. Apparently I was wrong about it. It's okay to call me an idiot because I am a dum-dum moron doo-doo face. The fight with Goat Monster is an interesting one, mostly because he does this move. What do you think that looks like? What does it look like he's doing there, huh? What do you think he's doing? Yeah, it looks like pee. Turns out he's actually just launching fire forward from various sources around him. First from the brazier on his little altar, and then from the remnants of whatever explosions he's set off throughout the fight. But I had to watch the episode like 3 times before I realized what he was really doing. Eventually, Kotaro busts out a rider chop and takes off Goat Monster's horns. And kind of a cool thing, as soon as they come off, the entire scene brightens up as he lifted the haze that Goat Monster had brought over the entire village. One rider kick later, fight's over, folks. Dude didn't even stand a chance, even if he can pee fire. From there, Akane is reunited with her brother, Kyoko gets her best friend back, although I don't really know how much of a positive that is, and the peace conference goes off without a hitch. All because of one man. And also his hearing impaired friend, and also a little kid, and also Kyoko had an integral part in it. I guess it was a team effort. Yeah, go team. Oh hey pal, look at you. You got to the end of yet another video. That was the Italian in me coming out. There's not much of it. Anyway, I was trying some new things with this particular video, some things to make the video look a little more stylish, hopefully make it sound a little bit better, despite the fact that it's still got the screeching, awful tones of my voice in it. Anyway, thank you for sticking it out, and you have a blessed day, a blessed, lovely day. Bye!